You might think a simple breakfast can't do much harm. But for seniors over 60, the wrong foods in the morning could quietly raise blood pressure, spike blood sugar, weaken memory, and even increase joint pain. What if the toast you've loved for years, or that glass of juice you always trusted, is now working against you? In this video, we're diving deep into 6 foods older adults should never eat for breakfast. Backed by real science and real stories from people just like you, we'll show what to avoid and what to enjoy instead, so you can protect your heart, sharpen your mind, and feel your best every single morning. This is your daily dose of elderly wisdom and senior health insight, straight from the life lessons of the elderly who've walked the path and made the change. Let's get started. Do you still believe that your morning glass of orange juice and a couple slices of toast are harmless? At first glance, that breakfast might feel comforting and familiar, but for people over 60, it could be quietly setting the stage for bigger health problems. Breakfast is supposed to give us energy, not take it away. But the sad truth is that many common breakfast foods we grew up eating are now the very things that can spike blood sugar, drain energy, inflame joints, and put your heart at risk. In this video, we are going to uncover 6 foods that seniors should never eat for breakfast. Not just a list of ingredients to avoid, but the real reasons behind them, and the simple, smarter swaps you can make starting tomorrow morning. I will also share real stories from seniors like you who made these changes and saw incredible results. By the end of this video, you will have a clearer picture of what breakfast can do for you and what to avoid if you want to stay mentally sharp, physically strong, and full of energy throughout the day. Let's begin with one of the most misleading foods that still sits on millions of breakfast tables. Food number 1 is fruit juice, especially orange juice. It is promoted as natural and full of vitamin C, but what they never tell you is how stripped it is of fiber and how concentrated it is in sugar. A typical 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains about 20 grams of sugar, which is the same as many sodas. Now, unlike eating a whole orange, which comes with fiber that slows down the absorption of sugar, juice hits your bloodstream fast. This causes a rapid spike in blood sugar followed by a crash that can make you feel tired, irritable, or hungry again shortly after eating. According to Harvard Health, fruit juice contributes to higher insulin resistance and may increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, especially in older adults, who are already more insulin sensitive. The problem goes deeper than energy. Over time, constant blood sugar spikes can damage blood vessels and nerves, which increases the risk of heart disease, kidney issues, and even memory problems. So what's a better choice? Consider swapping that morning juice for a glass of warm water with lemon, which aids digestion, or simply eat a whole orange or a grapefruit, which delivers the same nutrients, but with fiber to support steady blood sugar. Let me share a real example. Linda is a 72-year-old retired school teacher from Arizona. For over 15 years, she started every morning with a glass of orange juice because she believed it helped her immune system. But at a routine doctor visit, she learned her A1C levels had risen significantly, putting her at risk for prediabetes. Her doctor asked about her diet and immediately pointed to the juice. She was shocked. That small glass felt harmless, but it was having a big effect. Linda replaced it with herbal tea and fresh fruit, and within 3 months her A1C improved and she no longer felt the morning energy crash she once thought was normal. Now she feels more alert and lighter in the mornings, and she says her joints don't feel as stiff. The second food on our list is just as common and just as sneaky. White toast or white bread, even when labeled low-calorie or light, can be harmful for seniors. White bread is made from refined grains which have been stripped of their fiber and nutrients. When you eat it, it quickly turns into sugar in your bloodstream, leading to the same spike and crash effect we just talked about. But the danger does not stop there. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that high consumption of refined carbohydrates like white bread was associated with greater risk of cognitive decline in older adults. This is because frequent blood sugar spikes over time can harm the tiny blood vessels that support brain function. Seniors who rely on simple carbs in the morning may experience more brain fog, trouble concentrating, and faster memory loss. White toast is also often paired with jams or sweet spreads, which only add more sugar to the mix. It's a double hit to your blood vessels and your waistline. So what's the better move? Choose sprouted grain bread, which is higher in fiber and lower on the glycemic index, or go for steel-cut oats topped with healthy fats like walnuts or chia seeds and natural sweetness from berries or cinnamon. These choices support digestive health, blood sugar balance, and better brain function. Now meet John. John is a 68-year-old retired engineer who loved his morning toast with jam and a hot cup of coffee. It was his routine for decades. But after experiencing a minor stroke, his medical team evaluated his entire lifestyle and diet. His nutritionist explained that those refined carbs were causing constant inflammation and fluctuations in his blood sugar. That added stress to his cardiovascular system. John was hesitant at first, but he agreed to try swapping his toast for a bowl of oats with almond butter and banana slices. Within a few weeks, he noticed he was no longer experiencing the late morning dizziness that used to hit him before lunch. At his next checkup, his blood pressure was more stable and his cholesterol had improved. Today, John says he feels fuller longer and has more energy to go on walks with his grandchildren. He wishes he had known about the hidden dangers of white bread sooner. So let's pause and reflect. We've now looked at two breakfast staples that millions of people eat every day, thinking they are harmless or even healthy. But for seniors, these foods can silently chip away at your health. Fruit juice and white toast may be comforting and easy, but they are not doing your body any favors. Fortunately, change is not difficult. It starts with awareness and a few smart substitutions. You do not need to give up breakfast, you just need to reimagine it in a way that supports your goals now. In the next part of this video, we will reveal two more breakfast foods that may be even worse for seniors, especially if you are managing high blood pressure or joint pain. These are foods often labeled as protein-rich or quick energy, but they may be hiding inflammatory compounds and dangerous amounts of sodium. Before we continue, I would love to know what you usually eat for breakfast. Drop a comment below and let's see how many people have the same habits and how many are already making better choices. And if you have a story like Linda or John, feel free to share that too. Your experience could inspire someone else. Keep watching because the next food we reveal is one that doctors and dietitians alike warn their senior patients about. And yet it still shows up on plates across the country every morning. If you've made it this far, you already know the truth about two of the most common breakfast items that quietly hurt senior health: fruit juice and white toast. They may seem innocent, but they can lead to energy crashes, blood sugar spikes, and even long-term damage to the heart and brain. Now we are moving into foods that may seem hearty or protein-packed, but are actually some of the worst choices for older adults trying to maintain good blood pressure, strong bones, and a healthy weight. What you eat first thing in the morning sets the tone for your entire day. And sadly, many seniors are unknowingly filling their plates with options that increase inflammation, elevate sodium levels, and burden their digestive system before they even leave the table. Let's talk about food number 3, processed breakfast meats like bacon, sausage, and ham. These items are staples in many traditional breakfasts, especially in diners and fast food menus. They're advertised as satisfying and protein-rich, but for seniors, these meats can be dangerous. First, they are extremely high in sodium, which is especially harmful to older adults who are managing high blood pressure or kidney concerns. Second, they often contain nitrates and preservatives, which have been linked to increased risk of certain cancers and chronic inflammation. According to the World Health Organization, processed meats are classified as a Group 1 carcinogen, meaning there is strong evidence they contribute to the development of cancer in humans. The saturated fats in bacon and sausage also increase bad cholesterol and reduce arterial flexibility, which can make heart disease worse. That's not a risk worth taking when you're over 60 and aiming to enjoy more active years with clarity and comfort. So what should you do instead? Swap processed meats with boiled eggs, avocado slices, or plant-based protein like tofu or bean. These options are heart-mungish, support brain health, and give you long-lasting energy without the salt overload. Let's hear Edgar's story. Edgar is 75 and a proud grandfather of 6. He used to have bacon and eggs every single morning because it reminded him of Sunday breakfast with his parents. But after being rushed to the ER twice in 6 months for uncontrolled high blood pressure, his doctor gave him a reality check. His sodium intake from breakfast alone was off the charts and his kidneys were starting to suffer. Edgar decided to cut out the bacon entirely. He switched to poached eggs, avocado on whole grain toast, and fruit on the side. Within 3 months, his blood pressure dropped to a safer level. His doctor said it was one of the best turnarounds he had seen from diet alone. Edgar now says he still enjoys breakfast, but without the fear and fatigue he used to carry through the day. Let's move on to food number 4, flavored yogurt, especially low-fat fruit yogurt. This one surprises people because yogurt is often seen as healthy, and it can be when it's plain, unsweetened, and high in protein. But the kind most people buy, the ones with colorful fruit swirls or sweet vanilla flavors, are loaded with added sugars. These sugars not only increase the risk of diabetes, but they also disrupt the gut microbiome, which is critical for immunity and digestion in seniors. According to a study published in the British Medical Journal, excess sugar consumption has been associated with a higher risk of dementia in older adults. The issue is made worse when people choose low-fat versions. When the fat is removed, manufacturers add more sugar to make up for the taste. So instead of getting a nutrient-dense breakfast, you end up eating dessert in disguise. What's the better alternative? Go for plain Greek yogurt and add your own toppings like berries, cinnamon, ground flaxseed, or a drizzle of honey. This way you control the sugar and add fiber, which slows digestion and supports brain and gut health. Sophie's story proves how small changes can lead to big improvements. She's a 67-year-old retired teacher who believed her daily strawberry yogurt was helping her lose weight. But she started to notice more bloating, more fatigue, and a general sense of heaviness after breakfast. Her daughter, a nutritionist, took a look at the label and pointed out the 12 grams of added sugar in just one serving. Sophie was shocked. She made the switch to plain Greek yogurt with chopped walnuts and a few raspberries. Within a week, she said her digestion felt lighter and she no longer felt sleepy before lunch. Today, she's lost 7 pounds simply by removing excess sugar from her breakfast routine. These aren't just changes in diet, they are changes in life quality. And this is the heart of elderly reflection, learning from each other, making wise choices, and understanding that small habits create big health outcomes over time. When we talk about elderly wisdom, this is what we mean. The knowledge that we don't need extreme diets or magic supplements. We just need to remove the foods that quietly hurt us and embrace the ones that nourish us. So let's take a moment to recap. So far, we've talked about 4 foods seniors should avoid in the morning. Fruit juice because of its high sugar and lack of fiber. White toast because of its refined carbs and blood sugar impact. Processed meats for their sodium and cancer risk. And flavored yogurt for its added sugars and digestive problems. These foods are common, but that doesn't mean they are safe. The good news is you can replace every single one of them with something healthier, more satisfying, and easier on your body. And when you do, you'll begin to notice better energy, better digestion, more mental clarity, and fewer blood pressure swings. In the next and final part of this video, we are going to reveal the last 2 foods that are especially tricky. One hides behind the image of being a high-protein health bar, and the other is a convenience food that's advertised for busy mornings, but could be slowly wearing down your bones. Before we move on, I'd love to know which of these 4 foods you've eaten in the past week. And if you've already cut some of them out, let us know how it changed your mornings. Your story could help someone else who is struggling with the same silent symptoms. If you've been with us so far, you now know that some of the most familiar breakfast items can be quietly harmful as we age. Fruit juice, white toast, processed meats, and flavored yogurts may seem harmless, but for seniors, they can increase inflammation, raise blood sugar, and silently contribute to long-term health problems. Now let's look at the final 2 foods you should avoid at breakfast, especially if you want steady energy, strong bones, and good digestion throughout the day. The 5th food on our list is protein bars or granola bars. These products are marketed as healthy, convenient, and high in protein, but most are heavily processed and packed with added sugars, artificial sweeteners, and chemicals that can upset your stomach and lead to energy crashes. Seniors often grab them thinking they're getting quick nutrition, but in reality, many of these bars are closer to candy than breakfast. One bar can contain over 20 grams of sugar, and sugar alcohols like sorbitol or maltitol, which are difficult for older digestive systems to break down. These ingredients often lead to gas, bloating, and discomfort. On top of that, many bars include isolated soy protein and synthetic fiber, which offer little real nutrition and don't support gut health. Instead of grabbing a bar, opt for a small handful of mixed nuts, a boiled egg, or a slice of sprouted grain toast with almond butter. These foods provide natural protein, healthy fats, and fiber to fuel your body in a steady and nourishing way. Margaret's story makes this clear. She is 70 and used to take a granola bar with her on her morning walks. It was easy and mess-free. But over time, she began feeling more tired during her walks and started noticing bloating and cramping. Her doctor reviewed her food routine and pointed out the bar she was eating had 11 grams of added sugar and 4 types of sugar alcohol. She switched to a boiled egg with a few walnuts, and within a week, she said her walks felt easier, her belly felt better, and she no longer had the mid-morning crash. Her energy now lasts until lunch without the need for snacks. This is what senior health is all about. Not removing pleasure from life, but making choices that support how you want to feel every day. Now let's talk about the sixth and final food to avoid: instant flavored oatmeal packets. This one is tricky, because oatmeal is often praised as a great breakfast, and in its natural form it truly is. But the flavored instant packets you find on most grocery store shelves are loaded with sugar, artificial flavoring, and sodium. These packets may seem convenient, but they often contain up to 12 grams of added sugar per serving, and use low-quality oats that digest quickly, causing blood sugar spikes. In seniors, that means feeling hungry soon after eating, and in some cases, triggering inflammation in joints or fogginess in the mind. Better to prepare plain rolled oats or steel-cut oats with your own additions, like banana slices, cinnamon, flaxseed, or blueberries. That way you control the flavor and get all the fiber and nutrients without the added junk. Gary is 70 and thought he was making a healthy choice by switching from toast to oatmeal. But he was using flavored apple cinnamon packets every day and started to notice joint stiffness and increased hunger before noon. His daughter, a registered dietitian, asked to see the ingredient list and immediately spotted the issue. He swapped to plain oats with banana and ground flaxseed and noticed the difference in less than 2 weeks. His joints felt more flexible and he didn't need his usual late morning snack. This is a reminder that even healthy-sounding foods can turn into trouble if they're processed and artificially enhanced. Now let's take a moment to recap all 6 breakfast foods seniors should avoid. First, fruit juice, which spikes blood sugar and lacks fiber. Second, white bread or toast made from refined carbs. Third, processed breakfast meats like bacon or sausage that increase sodium and cancer risk. Fourth, flavored yogurt with hidden sugars and chemicals that hurt digestion. Fifth, protein or granola bars that are often just candy in disguise. And sixth, instant flavored oatmeal packets filled with sugar and artificial additives. You don't have to remove breakfast from your life. In fact, you shouldn't. You just need to make a few adjustments so breakfast becomes something that supports your energy, health, and longevity. Eat whole fruits, not juice. Choose sprouted grain bread over white toast. Use plain Greek yogurt instead of sugary brands. Make oatmeal the traditional way, not from a packet. These are not extreme changes. They are gentle and sustainable choices that reflect the life lessons from the elderly, who've seen what works and what does not. These changes are a reflection of elderly wisdom, which tells us that taking care of your health is not about deprivation. It's about intention. Choosing what makes you feel better, not worse. Choosing meals that give your body what it truly needs after 60. And remembering that every morning is another opportunity to nourish your future. If you found this video helpful, let us know in the comments which of these foods surprised you the most. Are you already avoiding any of them, or have you seen a difference since making changes? Your experience can inspire someone else in our community. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more elderly reflections and weekly insights on senior health, elderly wisdom, and real-life stories that help all of us live better, longer, and stronger. And if you know a friend or family member who still starts their day with juice toast or a protein bar, share this video with them. It could make all the difference. Thank you for watching, and remember, you're never too old to make a better choice for yourself today.